the best traits Xavier brings to the defense are?
Just from a leadership standpoint, he's a natural-born leader. He's a guy that's been pretty successful just coming up playing football. From the youth leagues, being successful, being on a high school team on the 6A level in the state of Texas. They went 16-0, so he knows what it looks like to win. And, he's pretty demanding. So I would say one of his best leadership qualities would be leadership.
And how have you seen his leadership kind of change over time?
It's changed a lot over time. I would say, being almost 1,000 days not playing football, really kind of took him to a dark place. But for him to be positive and stay engaged and still be active and still be the hardest worker on scout team last year is just a testament of who Xavier and Alfred is. So for him battling adversity, having to sit on the sideline, it's hard for a 19 and 22-year-old to be away from football for over 1,000 days, not be able to play out there on the grass and still be engaged, still be locked in, still be willing to learn. It's kind of easy to check out, if you're dealt that hand, So just to see him go through that, especially his time sitting down here last season, I know it meant a lot to him by not being out there. So the fact that he's out there on the field on Saturday is refreshing to him, because you got to think, I recruited Xavier out of high school at the University of Texas, went to USC, came to USC, now we're at Arizona State, so I've been at 3 different universities with this kid, and he hasn't changed much. He's actually gotten a little bit more mature over the years.
How do you coach a player like that in that situation when they've gone 1,000 days without playing?
We try to create a family environment, so I feel like, Coach Ward, first and foremost, and a lot of people underneath our umbrella as coaches really embraced Xavier and really consoled Xavier as he was going through those dark times. I mean, he felt bad, we felt bad as well for him not being able to participate on the team. So he was a guy that, everybody on the team, even from a last year standpoint, believed in Zay, felt bad for Zay and Jake Smith to be in that position. So they kind of embraced those guys being, a dark time in their career, and he was able to kind of get some relief through his teammates consoling him and still being a part of our ASU family.
And would you say he's like one of the main leaders of the secondary and of the defense?
Oh, absolutely. I would say he's probably one of the stronger voices on our team. When he talks, people listen, not only for how he plays, but how he is on an everyday basis, how he approaches meetings, how he approaches workouts. Just, kids will rally behind guys that not only talk about it, but guys that live up to the example. So he's a guy that definitely lives up to the example.
And you've been coaching him for such a long time. How have you seen his technique improve over time?
That's a lot, and it sucks that he had to go through 1,000 days without, playing the game of football, but you really get better being out there on the grass, being able to be put in a live situation. So for him taking mental reps, for over 1,000 days, not being away from the game, I mean, you got a zealous version of Xavier and Alfred that's ripe and ready for any opportunity that comes forth. So these next 6 games of the year, I'm pretty sure he's going to take a very professional approach, and be zealous for those opportunities.
And last question, would you say he's a student of the game?
Oh, absolutely. I would say Xavier is a student of the game. He's somebody that loves, lives, and breathes football, so anytime he gets an opportunity to learn or get an opportunity to go on the grass, he's going to give everything he's got. Sure, no problem.
Coach, you guys held prolific offense in Utah to just 17 points last week. What kind of a performance like that does for your defense?
Yeah, it gives the guys a lot of confidence, for us to play a really successful quarterback that's had a history of winning, and he be 16 for 37 and 3 interceptions. I mean, you can't really, have a better game, better performance. I'm just excited that our guys were able to go through a short week playing Utah that had 2 weeks off, and we were able to perform, on a big stage on Friday. So that's very pleasing for me as a coach, and I feel like it gives these guys a lot of confidence, in our game plan and in our performance moving forward.
What did you see from their maturity of how they were able to celebrate a big win like that and then come back this week and get right back to it in practice?
Yeah, I mean, it's just something Coach Dillingham has just been emphasizing, beginning of the season, we've just been ushering. People picked us last to be in this conference, so we got to take advantage of every opportunity that comes to us. So to be 5-1 halfway through the season, these games are important because we made these games important. So a lot of guys on our team weren't afforded certain opportunities, may have jumped jumped in the transfer portal, may have came here for opportunity. When those guys see that type of success, you get extreme buy-in from our players, and I'm just excited to see how we attack these next few games.
You mentioned those 3 interceptions that are rising through. One of those was to Keith Abney. What have you seen from his growth from when he first stepped foot in Tempe last year to now?
Yeah, I mean, Keith, he's a guy that played probably under 50 snaps in coverage for us last year. So I truly view this season as like his first full season playing as a corner, and through 6 games, he's been a pleasant surprise. He's a guy that is a football guy. He's savvy. He loves the game. He loves to compete, and he's pretty smart. He's a guy that's able to take everything we teach from the classroom, and he's able to apply it on the field. So I think the world of Keith Abney, I think good things happen to great people, and he's somebody that's going to be a beneficiary from that from a long time. Not just football, just life in general will be very favorable to Keith Abney.
Do you feel like he's one of those players in that group with Xavier Alford, some of those returners that kind of brings together the overall camaraderie of that secondary?
Yeah, he's a guy that kind of wants to lead by example. He wants to earn his stripes. He wants to earn his respect from the team. I definitely view him as a future large, respectable voice on this team, but he's a guy that kind of just stays the course. He realizes that he has to put out a body of work for the entire season to kind of get that voice. So we got 6 more games to go. So I'm just kind of keeping those guys to have tunnel vision that, coming into the season on paper, it's a really young room, probably unproven. So 6 games through 6 games, our play isn't reflecting of what people thought of us before the season started. So we got 6 more games to go to prove the doubters wrong and just take advantage of every opportunity that's thrown our way.
You guys going to Cincinnati this week, 3 time zones away. How big of an opportunity is this to extend that ASU connection countrywide like you guys did with Texas a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, it's a great opportunity for us. I feel like playing in the Big 12 is creating a lot of more visibility for players on this roster, including us trying to cast our net around the country from a recruiting standpoint. Just another opportunity to play in a region where, ASU isn't talked about, and our goal is to just leave the game with a good impression of the brand that we're building here at ASU. So to have games whether they're televised nationally or in other regions in which we don't recruit gives us an opportunity for much more visibility.
What have you noticed this week when you've watched film on Cincinnati from a passing game and just their overall offense?
Yeah, big fan of the quarterback. I feel like the quarterback is probably one of the top tier quarterbacks in this league. He's a guy that has a live arm. He's confident. He throws the ball all around the yard. So I think that faces a really good challenge for us to have really good wide receivers on the outside and the inside. So it's a really good challenge for us. The last time we stepped on the road, we weren't successful, so we're really trying to use this as an opportunity, to redeem ourselves, from how we performed the last road game. But we're excited. They're a really good, confident football team. They pretty much could be a few plays away from being an undefeated ball club. So we think that they're a really good football team. We're going to have to play our best football.
You mentioned last time we went on the road, losing to Texas Tech, going into the bye week. Now, second time around on the road, a game going into the bye week. How big is this to pick up a win, then going into the bye week to be able to sit on that for 2 weeks?
This will be huge. Just when you talk about us building the foundation of the program, us going 3-9 last year to clinch bowl eligibility, this Saturday would be unbelievable, not only to the players on this roster that have earned it, but to the people around the country that are watching ASU closely. Because a lot of people want to go where the confetti dropped last instead of look underneath the hood and see where the stars are aligning. Right now, the stars appear to be aligning at Arizona State. We get a few more wins, we create more visibility, and we obtain something that I call the flavor of the month. We have an opportunity to be the flavor of the month in college football, and have that type of visibility from a national standpoint gives us it increases our percentages of landing players, outside of this region that can help us.